Ever catch yourself watching someone like crush it in their field?
Yeah.
Like, wow, they were born for this.
Yeah, totally.
But what if I told you there's more to it than just raw talent?
Oh, there totally is.
That's exactly what we're going to deep dive into today. We're going to unpack this book, Grit, by Angela Duckworth.
Okay.
And it seriously changed the way I think about reaching goals. Yeah, any kind of goals.
It's a good word.
So basically, Duckworth's saying it's not just about being like naturally gifted. It's this mix of passion and sticking with itness that really matters. She calls it, you guessed it, grit.
You got it.
And we're going to break down why it's such a game changer.
Awesome.
So first things first, what exactly is grit? I mean, we've all had moments where we're super motivated, but grit, it's not about those short bursts of energy.
Right.
It's about like this deep down dedication to what you want to achieve, even when things get tough, and trust me, they will.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
think about training for a marathon. You wouldn't just sprint the whole way, right?
No way.
You got to pace yourself, have endurance. That's what grit's all about. Sticking with it, long haul.
Makes sense.
Like, take J.K. Rowling, for example. I mean, tons of publishers rejected Harry Potter at first.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. But she was passionate about that story, and she just kept pushing, kept believing in it. And, well, look what happened.
That's wild. I mean, that kind of blows the whole you got to be a prodigy to succeed thing right out of the water.
Totally. And, one of the things Duckworth dives into is this idea that consistent effort, it can actually outshine natural talent.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Right. And she even has this effort equation, which is like mind-blowing when you think about it.
Okay, lay it on me. What's the equation?
So she says skill is talent multiplied by effort. But then, get this, achievement is skill, so that talent times effort multiplied by effort again.
Hold up. So effort counts twice.
Exactly. It's like a secret formula for success.
That's amazing. And you know what? It makes so much sense. We've all been there, right? When
Yeah.
you hit a wall and talent alone just doesn't cut it.
Oh, yeah. We've all been there.
But this whole equation, it shows how powerful our effort can be. It's like the missing piece of the puzzle.
I love that, the missing piece. And that brings us to passion. Because let's be honest, trying to power through something you're not passionate about, it's like, well, trying to run a car without fuel,
Good analogy.
you're going nowhere fast.
It's more than just grinding it out. Right?
Yeah.
If you genuinely love what you're doing, that passion fuels your perseverance. It's like
Right.
you have this endless supply of energy.
Totally. Like if you think about times when you've been the most successful, I bet there was some serious passion involved.
True. Yeah, when I think about the projects I'm most proud of, they're the ones I was totally obsessed with.
Exactly.
It's like that passion makes all the difference. But okay, so we've got this idea of grit, this blend of passion and perseverance. But how do we actually cultivate it? Like, are we just supposed to like will ourselves to be grittier?
Well, lucky for us, Duckworth doesn't just leave us hanging with this concept. She actually gives us a framework, these 4 psychological assets that contribute to grit.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more about these assets.
She calls them the 4 pillars: interest, practice, purpose, and hope.
Okay, 4 pillars. Got it.
And each one plays a super important role. Starting with interest, it's all about figuring out what truly grabs your attention, what you're genuinely curious about. It's that feeling of being intrinsically motivated, where the work almost pulls you in. You don't have to force yourself to do it.
I feel like I'm starting to get this, like, those activities that make you lose track of time, right? That's a good sign you found something you're truly interested in.
Exactly. Now, the next pillar is practice. And this isn't about just going through the motions. It's about that conscious effort to improve, even when it feels uncomfortable.
So it's about pushing your boundaries, stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Exactly. Duckworth talks about this idea of deliberate practice, where you're zeroing in on specific areas where you want to get better. You're constantly seeking feedback, tweaking your approach.
Oh, I love that. It's like not just practicing for the sake of it, but being really intentional with your efforts.
Precisely. Think of a musician who spends hours practicing a difficult passage over and over, analyzing their technique, finding ways to make it perfect.
Wow, yeah, that's commitment.
That's deliberate practice, and it's huge when it comes to building grit. But of course, it can't just be practice for practice's sake, right?
Right.
There needs to be a deeper reason, a driving force. And that's where purpose comes in. It's about having this belief that what you're doing truly matters.
Okay, so it's like connecting your efforts to a larger goal.
Exactly. Like it gives meaning to all those hours of practice, all that dedication.
Makes sense.
Think of a doctor who's driven by this purpose of healing others. That purpose can give them the energy to get through those long shifts, those tough cases.
Powerful stuff. So we've got interest, we've got practice, we've got purpose. What's the fourth pillar?
It's hope. And this one, it's like the glue that holds everything together when we face setbacks, which, let's face it, we all do at some point.
Oh, for sure. Setbacks are part of the journey.
And this is where grit really comes into play. Hope, it's not about being naive or ignoring the challenges. It's about having the resilience to bounce back. It's that voice inside that says, okay, I stumbled, but I can learn from this and try again.
I love that. It's about not letting those setbacks define us.
Exactly. And you know what's really cool?
What?
If grit isn't some fixed trait we're born with, it means we can actually work on developing it. It's like a muscle we can strengthen over time.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we build that grit muscle?
Well, Duckworth has some practical tips, like setting clear long-term goals and then breaking them down into smaller, more manageable steps.
Makes those big, daunting goals a little less scary. Right?
Exactly. And it helps you celebrate those little wins along the way, which keeps you motivated.
I like that. It's like acknowledging those small victories to keep that momentum going.
Absolutely. And another important thing is to remember that setbacks, they're not failures. They're opportunities to learn and adjust.
Okay, so it's about shifting our perspective, right?
Yeah.
Seeing setbacks as valuable feedback instead of roadblocks.
You got it. It's about being adaptable and finding ways to improve.
And I guess that ties into the whole hope thing too, right? It's about having the belief that we can overcome those challenges.
Exactly. And Duckworth does such a great job of illustrating this with real-life examples of gritty people. We see Olympians pushing through injuries, entrepreneurs facing rejection after rejection, artists spending years honing their craft. They all demonstrate this incredible power of passion and perseverance.
So inspiring. It's like grit can show up in any field, right? It's not limited to certain talents or professions.
Exactly. It's something we can all cultivate and use to achieve amazing things. So, as you think about your own goals and aspirations, consider how you can apply these principles of grit to your own journey.
That's the question, isn't it? What are we passionate about? And how can we combine that passion with perseverance to really make a difference?
I think that's the perfect note to end on.
Yeah, it really is. So until next time, keep those passions burning. And remember, grit is the secret ingredient.
It sure is.
And who knows, maybe you'll be the next inspiring example of what grit can achieve.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
It was my pleasure.
And keep diving deep.
Always be learning.
See you next time.
Bye.